Hello and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Confidence Culture Conversations. Kirubai, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing very, very well, enjoying the blissful weather. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, but it's just the porridge is just right.
You
I
know what?
was,
For me, it's the fact that British summer is here, right? The long-awaited British summer has given us a couple of days.
I just thought of the story of the three bears,
What, Goldilocks and the Three Bears?
Yes, the porridge is just about right. So the weather is such, that it's not too hot and it's not too cold. It's just nice. Perfect weather
Good.
for my
Awesome.
liking.
Awesome. So before we get into our conversation, let's talk a little bit about the weekend, Kirubai, right?
Yes,
Because we were together on Saturday.
it was
Um,
lovely.
do,
Yes, it
do,
was
you- do you want
lovely.
to say a bit about what we did on Saturday?
Yeah, we I don't know, most of you might not know, but I'm part of this um tribe called Kingdompreneurs, where business people and entrepreneurs um, meet together and empower each other and speak about our successes and also the failures that we are going through, the challenges that we are going through. And it is hosted by Elizabeth and her husband Tunji. So we had a get together of a Saturday of fun, food, and
Plenty of food.
fun, food, and a time of connecting with one another. All the members came and we had a great time just sitting around the table in the garden. Of course, I was the hostess with the mostest.
And
And
you did an amazing job, Kirubai. Thank you
thank
to
you.
you and Robert for opening your doors to us.
So we just sat around the table, at, and we really ate because there was an abundance of food and it was great. Everybody contributed. They brought their would you say love offering? But you know what? It was all done out of love, and we had amazing uh, cake. Yes, cake. Lemon drizzle cake made by Elizabeth, and then we had meat pies by Debbie, and Robert made some lovely ribs, and Tunji's sister cooked the nice jollof rice and chicken, and Tunji made some amazing
Fried
fried
rice.
rice.
Yeah.
So, and then we had lots of snacks, drinks, chit chats, played games, killed each
We
other.
even had sushi.
Oh, yes, we even had sushi, but unfortunately, it was not made. But you know what? Thanks to Mark and Spencer's and Sainsbury, you get some amazing sushi. But you know what? It was a good time of connecting to one another.
Mm.
And the kids. We had some kids around, Janaya and Shalom. They were, you couldn't catch them. They were having a ball of a time. So running around and running around. So yes, but what I found was when we connect together in one place where there is a common theme running through us, is just to be there and appreciating one another. One of the things that Tunji said was, we had a debrief of the summit, which
Amen.
was great. Yeah, what worked and what didn't work, and it's always very important to, excuse me, to kind of have a debrief of so we can improve the um,
Absolutely. The
next
next
summit that's
event.
coming next year,
Yeah.
2025. So it was great. It was great. Of course, end of the day, we were all very tired and, we had to part our ways, but it was a fun day.
No, it was lovely. I think the best part about it is the sense of community
Mhm.
and even just the richness and the depth of the conversation on the table. it can challenge you, can inspire you, can motivate you, can grow you. And that's what happens when you find yourself in the right community, when you are intentional about the people that you surround yourself with. You will enable yourself to grow, to be in a place where you are motivated, to be in a place where you are inspired to be your best. So, not just to settle for where you are, but to be your best. So, hey, if you are looking for a community to join and you're a Christian who's passionate about the marketplace, feel free to reach out to either myself or to Kirubai or my husband Tunji, who's probably watching. And we can send you the information of how you can come and join the network. And I'll just plug this in here and then we'll move on. If you're a Christian woman struggling to show up consistently on social media, give me a call. Give me a call and let me help you, or let me invite you into a community where we as Christian women challenge, inspire, motivate each other to show up consistently, not just to show up once in a while or as and when we feel like showing up, but actually to show up consistently. I would love to have you in that community. Anyway, I'm going to be quiet for a bit and I'm going to hand over to you, Kirubai, so that we can focus on what we need to talk about.
Yeah,
Um,
before we go on to the subject matter, and I just wanted to say something about dear Adam, our youngest member, who was very inspiring. And he said, "When is the next meetup?"
Ooh, awesome,
Before
awesome.
he left, he said, "When is the next meetup?" So I said, "Probably during Christmas time. We have that Christmas get together and
Absolutely.
exchanging gifts, and we have a good time." So for those who might not be part of a community, you can always join us, and we are very inspiring, upbeat, and we are women and men who are on the go. We want the best for us, ourselves, and also for the rest who join us. So let me plug that in.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So, on to our conversation for today. So, thank you to everyone who has been joining us over the months and weeks and all over the time we've been on here, because we clocked 70 episodes, right? We went over 70. And if I'm not mistaken, today is episode 72. So,
Mhm.
hooray!
Hooray, hooray.
We're back again. So thank you to everyone who has committed themselves to spending some time with us as we engage in different conversations. So today we are talking about focus. Now, if you want to be successful, if you want to achieve anything in life, you've got to have focus. And before I hand over to Kirubai, let me throw this in there. There is something when I started my business. I was watching all these videos to just help me and just motivate me, inspire me. And I remember one time watching a video by a gentleman, I can't remember his name, but he talked about shiny object syndrome. And I was like, ooh, what's that? And he went on to explain that it's it's this syndrome where we jump from one idea to the next. So something comes up, you think, oh, this is cool, this is the next big thing, I'm gonna go for it. And then a few months down the line, something else pops up, and you're like, oh, I want to go for this. And it's like your hand is in so many
Many
different
times.
things, and
Mhm.
you're lacking focus. You're literally trying to be, what is it, a jack of all trades? But,
Master of
master of none. There you go. So if you want to master something, and I think John Maxwell says this in one of his books, particularly where he talked about wanting to grow himself as a communicator, there's a certain amount of time you have to pour into becoming an expert in a particular area. So if you're dividing up your time into all these many different things, so you can be an expert in so many different things, then it's going to take you longer to become an expert in all these many different things. But if you want to be successful, you are going to have to be focused. Over to you, Kirubai.
So the word focus, focus, is important because it is actually a gateway, a door to all our thinking, perception of things, memory, learning, reasoning, problem solving, and decision making. If our focus is not aligned, to our dreams and our vision and our decision making, we eventually lose momentum.
Mm.
So, being focused, not turning to the right and not turning to the left, it reminds me of a scripture that I know. And you just go on, run that race that is before you for whatever reason you want to realize a goal or a dream. When you don't have proper goals placed, you cannot attain the dream. And when you can't attain the dream, you are actually losing everything that you have built. So focus is vital. It is like the main ingredient that can fuel what you want to get later in life.
Mm.
And I like that analogy you said about the shining syndrome.
Object syndrome,
Yeah,
yeah.
everything that you want to you see, you want to attain it, but it doesn't work like that.
Mm.
So there is a saying that goes, energy flows where the attention goes.
Mm.
So I repeat, energy flows where the attention goes. So where the attention is focused and you pour your energy into it, something beautiful comes out of it.
Wow, okay.
So this is something that I think Elizabeth, because she calls herself as a thriving coach. You know, between a thriving coach and a transformational coach, there are some uh, some clarity, and there's some familiar grounds that we cross over. Elizabeth actually focuses a lot on business and
Mm.
also people who lack focus. She brings them down into focus. And I, in turn, help people who are all over the place focus on their insides and then work on those outside things like the personal branding. So anything we do in life, we need focus. Elizabeth, true?
Very true. Very, very true. I mean, it's a case of, do you want to do well in this particular area? Then focus on it. If you want to become this person, become something, then focus on it. So you mentioned that I talk a lot about like business and stuff like that. So one of the things I like talking about is like goals.
Mm,
If you don't, if you write down a goal, but you don't focus on it, then you're not going to achieve it. Simple as that. Focus materializes itself into actions, your thinking, like Kirubai said about your energy, where your energy goes to. They say that our lives move in the direction of our strongest thoughts.
thoughts, yeah.
So if you are focused on something, you're thinking about it. There's some thinking that's going into it, and as you're thinking about it, the energy is flowing there, and you're taking some action towards it. It can also go negatively, in the sense of, let me talk about like worry, depression, anxiety. When we focus on fear, when we focus on the things that are not working, when we focus on our problems, we magnify those things.
Good
Focus is
one.
like a magnifier. I there was a statement I used to hear a lot. Like when you're having problems, and the scripture, the Bible verse I can refer to is, I think it's Isaiah 26:3, where it talks about keeping our eyes stayed on him, and he will keep us in perfect peace. If you keep your eyes focused on your problem, focus is like, it can even be meditation. In meditation, you're trying to focus on something. So if you keep your eyes fixed on this thing, that thing is who you are becoming, is what you are becoming. That thing comes with its own baggage, with its own consequences, with its own things to celebrate, with its own benefits. So if, for example, you focus on negative things, This is the negative thinking, the limiting beliefs, all that negative talk. If you focus on all of that, then your life is going to move in the direction of those things. In the world out there, they will say you manifested it. But the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Your thinking is part of what you're focusing on. So what you are focusing on is who you are becoming. So if you want to be successful, what exactly do you want to be successful in? Pick that thing.
And
Or
work on it.
what do you want to be remembered for? Take a pick and focus on it. Put your energy into it. Give it your all. John Maxwell, in his book, the questions about dreaming. I've forgotten the title of the book, but 10 questions about dreaming. It's one
Yeah.
of his. It's one of the books I love that he's written. But in that book, he talks about like focus. You have to focus. If you have a dream and you want your dream to become a reality, you've got to put some focus into it. Focus means I'm giving it time. It means that I go to sleep, I wake up in the morning, this is the thing that I'm thinking about. Therein is my focus. So my question to you is, what is it that maybe there's an area that you're struggling in, and you're like, how can I move forward with this? I feel a little bit stuck. Time to check your focus. Where is your focus? What are you giving attention to?
The name of the book is Put Your Dreams
Your
to
dream test.
Test.
That's it.
The
That's
10 questions that you ask yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. If you haven't read that book and you have a dream that you want
Fantastic
to
book.
pursue and make a reality, go and have a think on those 10 questions, because those 10 questions will help you to have some motivation, some drive to go ahead and make and start taking action on your dream.
It's a very good book. And what is the correlation between focus and dream? I know we sometimes we might be sounding like a broken record. We keep talking about the same thing, but the more we confess, the more we speak about it loud, it kind of resonates in our hearts and in our hearing, and it also sings in. So when we focus and verbalize some of these things, some of our dreams and vision and destiny that maybe we are searching, it actually, this, it's like, you know what, I it's like somebody says, oh, you like the sound of your voice. No, my spirit needs to hear this.
Mm.
My spirit needs to hear this. Hey, listen, that my inward parts need to hear this. And
Your
that's,
subconscious mind needs to
yeah,
hear.
subconscious mind. And you have to focus on yourself to let the dream sink in.
Mm.
It might sound a bit airy fairy, but it works. It works. It works. Your ears, your eyes see, and your heart listens to it, and your subconscious mind is receiving what you are focusing upon. Like Elizabeth said, if you focus on negativity, everything fails.
That's it.
But you're focusing on getting this task done, you will definitely succeed.
Mm.
So when you focus, there are lots of opportunities that can open to you. Why I say this is, people can read you well. People can definitely read you. When you start speaking, people know whether this person is focused or this person is all over the place. This person is carrying confusion. They
Mm.
might not want to do business with you. They might not want to collaborate with you. Because as you carry yourself, you can see the word whether this person is focused or
Mm.
confused. Just by your speech, just by the words that you speak. So if you want opportunities to open in front of you, or you want clients, you need to be so focused in presenting yourself as a person who knows your field well.
Mm. Mm. You know what? As you were talking, I was reminded of like when I stepped out to start my business and I started showing up a lot consistently, a lot more consistently on social media. And my posts were very much focused on what I was doing. And I remember, you mentioned about opportunities. At one point, I remember a message coming into my inbox saying, "Oh, we've seen your content. We love your content. Would you like to feature in our magazine? Would you like to write some articles for our magazine?" And that was because I was focused in the content I was putting out. It had a particular focus, and so I was invited to write in a women's magazine, that was electronically sent to 70,000 women across the world. So you're absolutely right in that focus is going to open doors and bring opportunities because it's something that you're pursuing. And focus means switching off distractions. There's a lot of things that can distract us, and there's a lot of things that are vying for our attention. And the reality is that not all these things are bad things. Some of them are even good things, but they are just taking our time. And when they take our time, because the reality is when you say yes to something, you are automatically saying no to
To
something
something
else.
else. Yes, that's so
When you
true.
say yes to something, you're automatically saying no to something else. So when you choose to focus on something, there is another thing that you are saying no to because this thing has your time. Because when I say I am focused on my business, that means that I might have to cut out some things that are taking my time because I need to focus on my business. So the way you spend your time is a reflection of where your focus is.
Ooh, wow.
It is. The way you spend your time, what you give attention to. And we could almost say where your finances go is also insight into where you're focused. Because when you're focused on something, it requires your resources. And your resources include your time, include your finances. So, where is your focus? If there
Wow.
is something you want to do, something you want to achieve, how much time are you putting into it? They if you speak to someone who trains for the Olympics, we just
Wow.
finished the Olympics.
Yes.
They train hard and they're training for this one day. They're like 4 years training for this one day, or more than one day, depending on what they're competing in. But they focus. One of the athletes was like, there's certain things I can't eat because I'm focused. Kiruba, you mentioned, you briefly touched on the Bible verse, um, and I think it's the same one that I'm going to refer to. How Jesus, he focused on the assignment that he
Mhm.
was here to fulfill. The Bible says, who for the joy that was set before him, he
Mhm.
endured the cross.
Cross.
So
Yes.
focus means because I'm focused on that result, I'm going to have to sacrifice certain things. I'm going to have to put some boundaries in place. If you're focused on having a successful marriage, there's some boundaries you need to put in place to guard your heart, to guard your marriage. So your focus is going to determine your actions.
Well
And
said.
if you don't know what you're focused on, ask the people around you. Let them see how you're spending your time, how you're spending your money, that will just show what your focus is. It will show. And I think we need to be a people who are willing to accept sometimes when someone says, I need space because I need to focus on this. I had an experience a few years ago where I was friends with somebody and we actually lived together. Um, this was when we were at uni. We shared a place. It was a two-bedroom place. So she had one room, I had the other room. And at some point, our friendship, our relationship started becoming a bit funny. And there was no explanation. And so one day there was a confrontation to ask the questions, what is happening? Because we went from being as close as sisters to actually not really talking. And one of the responses I got was, I need to focus on my relationship with God. So I can't spend as much time with you. Honestly, I was hurt because I was like, really? I'm distracting you from God? Like, hello? I found it very strange, but I gave the space. And when someone says God has said or God has instructed me to do this,
You back off.
end of the matter.
No more discussion.
No more discussion. And was it hard? It was hard. And sometimes there'll be people around us like this who will say they need space because they have to focus on something. And so our relationship with them might not be the way it used to be because there's a different focus. It's a different season of their lives as well. So the focus is different. So sometimes we have to accept those hard decisions because someone says yes to something and it means no to the relationship that we once had. We just have to accept that, right?
That's 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 food for thought, Elizabeth. I think we all have instances in our lives that we have to make that we have to eat that hard pill. And if we lack that focus, I mean, God has to be priority. And
Mm,
if there's something stealing that intimacy with Him, then we have to revisit our stand and focus on God, because He is the most important person in our lives.
mm,
Because without Him, there is no success.
absolutely.
Yeah, success is so tied on focusing with God. We also have to work hard. It's a two-ply thing. Success and focus and running that race that is before us.
Mm,
So when we focus on doing and getting our tasks done, we also need to having the right replenishing ourselves and having the right knowledge. And knowledge increases when we focus on the things that we want to expand, or we want to actually there is a growth. If you want growth, then we need to focus on knowledge.
mm, mm,
Personal Coming back again to personal development. And a lot of people, they think when you get on with age, you don't need personal development. And I think that's really a false belief. We have to develop and focus on personal development all the days of our lives before the Lord comes and takes us away.
and it could be personal development in a particular area.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things for me last year, one of the things I chose to focus on was developing myself in the area of leadership. I'm passionate about leadership, right? But I was just like, I'm passionate about leadership. I do consume content that is around leadership, but I just wanted to give it a bit more of a focus, and a bit more attention. So I was trying to read more books on leadership. I was trying to listen to more podcasts on leadership. So most of the podcasts I listen to will be podcasts around leadership, podcasts around purpose, because that's another focus of mine. So the things that we are choosing to focus on, that those are the things we're going to give our attention to. And if you want to develop in an area, you're going to have to go out and get the knowledge. Don't wait for the knowledge to come to you. No, you want it, so focus on it. How bad do you want it? One of the things that we talk about when I go into schools with the fix up team,
Mhm.
one of the things we talk about is focus. because it's so necessary and so important for our kids to focus, especially when they're at that stage of exam period.
Mm.
When they get to their GCSEs, when they're going to do their O level exams, or even A level, university, whatever it is, you need to focus. You need to cut out the obstructions.
Mm.
And one thing I like to tell them is sometimes focus means you can't spend time with your friends. You can't go to the cinema the way you used to go to the cinema because that time needs to be given towards study. I remember when I was at university, when it came to exam period, I was like, I'm not going out nowhere. I have to study, study, study. I have to put my head down. Like people would call and say, do you want to go? Sorry, no, I can't come because exams are on. My focus was on exams, and when I was at university, we had exams like in January time. So when you went home for the Christmas break, you're like, I can't really enjoy my Christmas because I've got exams to prepare for. My focus is on those exams. So there'll be a lot of things that try to take our attention. And those things that are taking our attention are the things that we're giving focus to. They're the things we're giving focus to. So just look at how you spend your time. Look at how you spend your time, and it will give you a very good idea of where your focus is. It will give you a very, like, if you sat down and looked day to day, how do I spend my time hour by hour? What am I doing? It will show you what your focus is. Now, last week I was running a session on vision boards. And one of the things I said with vision boards is that when you write down your vision, you write down your goals, and you put them on, this picture view on a vision board, it helps you with your focus, especially when you have that vision board in front of you consistently and not just looking at it, once a month, but you can see it. It helps you with your focus. It helps you because focus is also an issue of sight. What are your eyes on? Focus requires your senses. Focus requires you to activate your senses.
I like that.
What's your seeing focused on? What are your ears focused on? Even your mouth, what are you focused on? Touching, what are you focused on? So
I
to
like that.
engage.
I like that. Elizabeth, dig deeper. I love that. I love that point. It's very abstract, but yet there's so much to it.
Mm. No, focus requires like your eyes. Where are your eyes fixed?
Ooh.
I mentioned the Bible verse, Isaiah 26:3. When you keep your eyes stayed on him, he will keep you in perfect peace. Look at the example of, for those that are not Christians, maybe you can go pick up a Bible today after watching this, right? And get some inspiration there. But the example of Peter, when Peter's question is this really Jesus? If it's you, ask me to walk to come to you, and I will come. I'll come out of the boat. I will come to you. So Jesus is like, okay. So he steps out of the boat and he starts to walk towards where Jesus is, and he's walking on water, right? But then the Bible says he then, like, his eyes were then fixed on the wind and the waves. This is me paraphrasing. I'm not saying it word for word, but his eyes were then fixed. So yes, initially he was focused on the word and Jesus giving him the word, and so he had the courage, to the confidence to step out. So our focus can also affect our confidence.
Mm.
What we are choosing to focus on can affect our level of confidence in a particular area. So when you focus in acquiring knowledge in this area, it makes you more confident in that area. Okay, I'll pack that one there. But anyway, so he was focused on Jesus. He came out of the boat, and then the winds and the waves is like, ooh, these problems, my life is happening around me. And then he started to sink.
Panic, panic, panic.
So if we're not focused in the right place, it can have consequences. But he was focused. Your eyes can determine your focus. Look at those athletes when they're preparing to run. You don't come in front of them and mess with them. Those 100-meter sprinters, like you see them. There was one of them on the starting line. He just kept on doing this, just doing this. And it was my focus is on the finish line. Like my focus is ahead. If your focus is not ahead, you're going to keep going backwards or you're going to remain stagnant. You're not going to move forward. So if you want to be successful and move forward in various different areas of your life, focus on the way forward. When I'm walking with my daughter and she's looking behind instead of looking where she's going, her focus is not in the right place. I have to tell her, Janaya, look ahead. Look where you're going. Look where you're going. So where are you trying to get to? Focus in that direction. For anyone that is watching today, 5 years time, 10 years time, 20 years time, where do you want to get to? Focus your energy. Look in that direction.
I'm just going to throw a spin here. You're talking about looking ahead. I was just thinking of Lot's wife. She turned at the back and she looked at the back and she became a pillar of salt.
There you go.
We don't want to become something that we are not, because God has promised that He wants to bless us and He wants us to be successful. Go ahead, because He's already got that plan already in place. And do not be, somebody needs to listen to this. Don't keep looking back, because as a transformational coach inside and out, if you keep focusing on the negativities and the things, the pain, the trauma, the insecurities that as women and men we have gone through, then we will never focus on the finishing line which God has promised. So I want to encourage you, and I know Elizabeth is together with me, that we want to encourage you to focus in the future. We are already on the 8th month in 2024, and you have a couple of more months to go into 2025. And if you have not achieved anything this year till, let's say August, it doesn't matter. You have a couple of more months to pour your energy into the things. Maybe just a little bit, take that first step into walking into the dream and the vision that God has got for you. And don't look at don't turn behind. Let it put past that and look for the future that is ahead of you.
Absolutely.
Because when you focus, you achieve success quicker. Because there is an acceleration that takes place. And, I just felt that we just started January 2024 and we are already in the 8th month. There is an acceleration that is taking place spiritually. So if you have not started, start it. Start something that you can say, wow, it has birthed out of my hands with the help of God. It can be anything.
Absolutely.
Anything. But do it. Just do it. Like Nike says, just do it.
There you go. Fix your focus and
Yeah.
take some action.
Yeah. Take that step of faith.
What just came to mind was like when you're taking a picture, you have to focus.
Oh, yes.
Our cameras nowadays on our phones, they don't, we don't have to stress too much to focus. But back then, like you had to like really get the camera into focus to get the perfect picture. And maybe, a photographer can say this better than I can, but you have to really find the right angle to get the best picture. If you want to get the best out of your life, focus. If you want to be the best version of yourself, fix your focus. Fix your focus. Fix your focus. Your focus is evidenced in how you are spending your resources. What are the things that are important to you? The things that are a priority to you? If you're struggling in an area, put some focus into it. Put some attention into it. Because when you're focused on it, you can be more productive with it.
So much of knowledge on, in this day and age, there's so much you can read on the internet, and self improvement is so easily available these days, unlike those years that I grew up. you know but beyond that, as coaches, Elizabeth and I, we help you focus on the future,
Mm, that's it.
and focus on the future. So we are available to take you as our coachee, and we would love to coach you, because, as many of you know, I had a terrible journey when I was young. But
Mm,
for a woman I am now, going on 62, I am this is the best years of my life.
come on.
And I enjoy being that person, because somewhere along the lines I focused on the positive, focused
Mm,
on the better person, and focused on becoming this entrepreneur. Age should never be a disadvantage to anyone.
mm.
So here, come on, everybody. Let's focus on the next few months, and let's see what 2025 will bring forth for you, and for both of us, and for for many people that we have been speaking, these conversations. We want to touch lives, and because we focused from day one, we can
Mm.
push through despite of all the challenges that we have found along the way.
I would say this to anyone that's out there trying to, I guess, achieve certain things before the end of this year. So think about what is one thing that you'd like to achieve by the end of 2024. What is one thing you'd like to achieve by the end of 2024? It doesn't have to be too many things. There might be a lot of things, but let's just focus on one, right? Let's focus on one. What is one thing you'd like to achieve by the end of 2024? If you've got pen and paper, write it down. Every day, put some time towards it. And when I say put some time towards it, I mean take some action. Take some action. Yes, it might seem like it starts from thinking about it. Yes, you need to put time in. Think about this thing. In fact, take a moment to dream about it. Take a moment to envision and picture yourself achieving this thing at the end of 2024. Dream it. See it in your imagination. Have a picture of it. If you've got a vision board, put it on your vision board. Whatever it is, put it on your vision board. Now start to think about, what are the small steps I need to take to get me to achieve this? What are the habits I need to have in place
Oh,
to achieve this? Who am I becoming at the end of 2024? What do I need to put in place? Whose support do I need? I'm literally giving like a coaching session here. Whose support do I need to achieve this thing? and get in touch with those people who support you need. Whether it's that you need a coach, get in touch. We're here. Whether you need a mentor, whether you need just support from a close relative, support from your nearest and dearest, reach out to them. Tell
Yeah.
them, this is something I'm trying to achieve. I just need you to help me in this area. Support me in this way.
Elizabeth, when you talk about this focus subject, it just reminds me of another topic that we need to cover, and that is procrastination.
We talked about procrastination earlier this year.
We did, but a different angle, a different angle. Procrastination is such a wet blanket towards focus.
Mm,
It doesn't fuel focus, but it digresses you from
mm,
focusing on the things. So yeah, just something that out of the blues has come. Yeah, I like that, Elizabeth. I'm glad that you plugged it in, because a lot of people might think, I'm being bold here. A lot of people might think, oh, I don't want to spend money getting a coach. It's because somebody coached me that I can become a coach now.
mm,
Somebody poured their lives into my life that I can now in turn pour my life into someone else's life. We all have mentors and coaches who have been helping us. So we can boldly and confidently speak and say, we are here to help.
mm,
Don't think of that money that you're going to put aside. Think of it as an investment for a lifetime.
mm,
Do you think that all these successful people they have attained it on their own? They've all had mentors and coaches. Someone at the back, it's like a voice saying, take this way, take this way. They didn't turn left or right. They focused, and yet they had someone who was motivating them and clapping and cheering them on. So I have to tell you this, if we are available and spaces are running quickly, they really we time when coaching takes a lot of time, and we would like to also want to speak into your lives.
mm. Focus. Focus. So, whatever that thing is that you want to achieve, it's possible. It's possible. Or, as the French would say, c'est possible. It is possible. But
Ooh,
you've got to give focus to it, you've got to give attention to it. The things you give attention to are the things you magnify. You decide. You decide. Somebody cannot do it for you. I can't focus on your marriage for you. You've got to focus on your marriage. I can't focus on building your business. You've got to focus on building your business. Unless, of course, you're paying me to do it, then hey, yes, why not? But but the reality is, you've got to focus on the things that you want to achieve, or the things that you are trying to be successful in. Focus, focus. Focus means sacrifice. Focus means boundaries. Focus means time. Focus means attention. Focus means money. Focus.
focus means success. Yeah.
Absolutely. And on that note, Kirubai, do you have any last words? Right. Okay. So over to me to close us out tonight, right? No, honestly, thank you all for joining us this evening, and I hope that today's conversation has given you some food for thought. I hope it has given you some food for thought, and I would really, really encourage you. Like, if it has, put some comments. Let us know. Let us know how this conversation has impacted you, or if there's actions you want to take following this, and maybe even you need accountability. Feel free to reach out to us. feel free to reach out to us. If you watch this on the replay, hashtag replay, put some comments. We would love to just respond and engage, because you're engaging with our conversation, so we'd love to engage with you as well, right? So please comment and help us to share it. Share it with somebody who needs this message, somebody who might be struggling to focus. Share it with them. They might need it more than you. You never know, right? So please feel free to share it. But we're here every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, we come to you, Confidence Culture Conversations. And like I've said, and Kirubai has said, like, we would love to coach you if that is your need right now. And if it will help you to focus on the things that you want to achieve, we are more than available to help you along your journey of focusing and making those dreams a reality, making your transformation a reality, making that vision a reality, because 2024 can be your best year yet. It's not over.
It's not over till
It's
it
not over.
says over.
It can be your best year yet. So focus on the things you want to achieve, take action, and you will get there. Remember, it's not a sprint. This journey of life is not a sprint. So don't expect overnight results. Be in it for the long haul. Be in it for the long haul. Like, put everything to it and stay consistent, stay focused, and you will get there. And on that note, have a lovely rest of the day. God bless
God
you.
bless you. Bless you.